It was Sunday dinner, and the aroma of roast chicken filled the kitchen. My name is Amanda, 34, the daughter who quietly fills the gaps. Denise announced her baby news, and Mom beamed like she'd won a prize. Then Patricia said, "You're not half the woman Denise is." I pushed my chair back. "Then she can start paying your rent," I replied. Dad's fork hung frozen midair. "Rent?" Thomas whispered. "What rent?" Because for 3 years, I'd been covering their mortgage, and my father had no clue. That was the instant her secret burst into the open. Before we continue, where are you tuning in from today? A cozy kitchen, a car in the driveway, or a place you finally call your own? Echoes of Life is right here with you as we keep turning the pages. 3 years prior, Mom phoned me late at night, her voice trembling. I was in my small apartment eating cold noodles from a carton. "The bank's closing in," she said. "One missed payment and we lose the house." Then she lowered her voice. "Your father can never find out. It would break him. Amanda, just help us until things stabilize." Stabilize became her go-to excuse. Every first of the month, $2,000 vanished from my account. I labeled the transfers rent. It felt less like a lie that way. Easier to keep from Dad. I convinced myself it was short-term, so I pushed harder at work. Overtime, weekends, late-night projects. My eyes stung from the office lights. I survived on coffee and cheap takeout. Once, my coworker Jessica found me passed out at my desk. "When did you last take a real day off?" she asked. I laughed it off like it was nothing. Truth was, I couldn't recall. I stopped eyeing jobs out of state. A move might interrupt the flow of money. Friends bought houses, posted about building equity. I kept renewing my lease. Meanwhile, Mom spent freely. A shiny new car, kitchen upgrades she deemed essential. Weekend getaways she flaunted online. Denise's world seemed charmed. A lavish wedding that could have covered my rent for ages. A suburban home with a pool. Mom told everyone, "We're so blessed to support our children." Dad nodded proudly, completely in the dark. I was the hidden motor keeping their picture-perfect life running. Essential for the cash, invisible during the applause. Whenever I pressed for an end date, Mom promised after the holidays, after spring, just a little longer. Always tomorrow. Never today. I wasn't paying a mortgage. I was funding her deception. Last November, Mom asked for attic help. "Just boxes," she said. "My knees aren't what they used to be." The space smelled of dust and aged timber. A lone bulb flickered overhead. I found a banker's box marked Tax Records 2018. Inside, tidy folders, statements, then mortgage documents, recent ones. The refinance date struck first. 6 years back, $200,000. My pulse raced. Dad had always claimed the house was paid off. Mom echoed it confidently, like a well-practiced line. I turned pages carefully. Interest rates, terms, a second mortgage. Then Dad's signature. Too neat, too uniform, like a careful copy. I pulled out my phone. No flash, just dim screen light. I snapped photos of every sheet, front and back. I replaced everything precisely. Downstairs, Mom smiled and asked if I'd found anything helpful. "Just old papers," I said calmly. My hands weren't steady. I drove home and sat in the garage, engine off, lights humming. That night, I reviewed my bank records. 36 transfers, $2,000 each, $72,000 total, all tagged rent. My gut twisted. Rent for a home I'd never lived in. I almost called Dad right then, ready to thrust the evidence at him. But I didn't. I hate that I freeze to preserve calm. Instead, I observed. Mom intercepted the mail before Dad saw it. She stashed bills in her purse. "I'll take care of it," she'd say. Dad trusted her completely. At meals, she'd pivot topics swiftly. If Dad teased about being mortgage-free, she'd laugh extra loud, then shift to praising Denise, praising herself. I kept attending dinners twice a month, smiling, passing dishes, hearing my name wielded like a lever. My body stayed exhausted, my chest constricted as if I'd been holding my breath for years. I wasn't plotting payback. I was simply gathering facts. Receipts, timelines, images, truth. By that Sunday dinner, I'd had enough of secrecy. The meal began civilly. Denise shared her pregnancy. Kevin topped off drinks. Mom glanced at me with that familiar smile. "You're not half the woman your sister is," Patricia remarked casually. I stood, chair scraping. "Then she can start paying your rent." Dad's fork halted. "Rent?" he echoed. "What rent?" Mom's eyes darted. "Thomas, not now." But his tone hardened. "No, explain." I rose fully, napkin dropping. "I've been paying your mortgage," I said. $2,000 a month for 3 years. Denise went rigid. Kevin fixed on his plate. Dad turned to Mom, waiting. "It's just help with costs," she stammered. "What costs?" Dad pressed. "I handle the bills. I see everything." I opened my banking app. 36 transfers lined up, each dated the 1st, labeled rent. I passed him the phone. His fingers trembled as he scrolled. Color drained from his face, then flushed back. "That's $72,000. Denise breathed. I held Mom's gaze. "Tell them where it really went." Her mouth opened, shut. I continued. 6 years ago, you refinanced? $200,000 second mortgage. Dad never knew. Dad whipped toward me. "I never signed any refinance." "I know," I said. "The signature's off. I found the papers in the attic last November. Banker's box, tax records. I photographed them." Denise's eyes welled. "Mom, why?" Mom's voice cracked. "To help Denise. She deserved the wedding. The house." My stomach knotted. "You stole it," I said. "You forged Dad's name. And you made me repay it." Kevin looked up sharply. "Mr. Morrison, we had no idea. We thought it was savings." "It was equity," Mom insisted. "Our savings," Dad recoiled. "That's fraud," he said quietly. "How long have you lied?" 3 years, I answered. She called crying, said foreclosure loomed, said you couldn't know. Dad's gaze shifted to me. Not angry, just shattered. "And you carried this alone?" I swallowed. "I was told to. I was raised to keep the peace." Denise sobbed. Kevin steadied her. Mom reached for Dad. He pointed to the hall. "Pack a bag. Leave." Mom turned to me, pleading. "Amanda, stop this." I stayed still. "You decided who counted. You don't get to undo it now." Dad's voice dropped, icy. "Out!" And the house obeyed. The lie crumbled at one table. Next morning, Dad contacted a lawyer, Catherine Rodriguez. On speaker, her tone crisp. "Thomas, we have forgery evidence, refinance docs, Amanda's transfers, criminal charges, or a protected divorce." Dad massaged his temples. "No jail. Just her gone." Catherine stayed firm. "Then we secure everything. House, retirement." Mom moved to her sister's that day, leaving behind her financed remodels. The house felt empty. Denise called sobbing that night. I didn't know. I swear. I believed her. She was indulged, not malicious. Still, resentment lingered. Kevin joined. "We'll repay you. Sell the pool if needed." I stared at my bare sink, recalling ramen nights and extra shifts. "I'm not evicting you. You've got kids coming. But no more safety net." Silence. Denise whispered, "What now?" "No bailouts. No pretending. Live within your means. If it stings, it's honest." Dad passed in the hall, looking aged overnight. He paused, hand on my shoulder. "You shouldn't have borne that. I'm sorry." The words hit deeper than shouts. Plain, directed at me Monday. Catherine sent Mom's lawyer the packet. Documents, signature analysis, timeline. My statements, Mom's side pushed for half the house, half retirement. Catherine's reply: clean divorce, no assets for Patricia, or face fraud charges. Pressure vanished, not from remorse, but because facts endured. Denise visited my apartment a week later, stunned by the tight space. "You lived like this, while funding mine." I nodded. "It stops now." She took my hand. I'm sorry. I didn't pull back, but I offered no reassurance. This was reality, not revenge. When payments ceased, my body rebelled, waking at 3 a.m., calculating debts in the dark. Jessica noticed, "You're present, but not resting." So I started therapy. Dr. Rachel Kim asked gently, "Who are you in your family?" "The fixer," I said. "The one who manages." "And what did it earn you?" I looked at my hands. The right to be exploited. Dad sold the house months later. Too many echoes in the walls. He bought a condo, cleared the debt, sounded freer on calls. Denise and Kevin adjusted. Tighter budgets, simpler cars, honesty over show. Mom sent messages, letters, a voicemail. "I'm sorry." I didn't respond immediately. I wasn't ready to soothe her again. One day, I took my first real vacation in years. No alerts, just sun and rest. By the water, it hit me. I wasn't half of anyone. I was complete. I'd always been. Proof over chaos, limits over pleas. The money was spent, but my life was mine. If this resonates, share, subscribe. Pass it to someone carrying what isn't theirs. Echoes of life is here. More stories ahead.